Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Right, I'm going to show you a way that I do my line drawings, especially if I'm doing them for a tutorial. I do still do hand-drawn drawings as well if I'm doing landscapes or something for myself, or a commission probably. But if I'm doing a tutorial, because I actually offer the line drawing up to the customer as well, and also colour picking so they can pick the colours. This is the way I found best to actually do the line drawing. I can keep it on record. I can go back, I can adjust it a lot easier without having to mess about trying to level things up and getting it in the right area. So this is a printout on an A4 sheet of a goldfinch, which I've just done. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did it. It's using an iPad and a pencil, an Apple pencil. Well, if you don't have an Apple pencil, you can always use a compatible one, or even, if you can get the program onto your whatever tablet you've got. The program I use is called Procreate. Okay, so this is my tablet, which I use purely for doing line drawings and also other things to do with art. First of all, in my photos, we'll have a look, and down at the bottom here, this is the image I picked. It's a Pixabay image. So I've downloaded it onto the iPad, and then uploaded it onto my photos library. So there we have it. So what you do is then you click on the photo, it opens up. You can double check, make sure you've got the photographs exactly what you're looking for. Then up in this top corner here, you've got an upload or share button. Press that, and then along here comes, so you've got that photograph, it's ticked. And then you've got also, you can send it by Gmail if you wanted to send it to somebody, or if you wanted to show somebody in messengers, you could do. But then what I'm looking for is this program here called Procreate. So if I tap on there, it's sending that image. Sorry for the blurriness there. Right, it's sending that image, and it sent it to Procreate. So I can shut down photographs. Okay, and then down the bottom here, I've got an icon for my Procreate. So let me just, all right, here we go. So this is Procreate. Across here, you've got a delete, duplicate, share, and preview. And just take that off. So along here is some of the work that I've already done. You can share it into like stacks, so different. So they're all like projects 1 to 8 on the Zentangle that I did. The pieces that I'm still working on. There's some retro designs. That's a mandala that I'm working on. And I've got blank canvases, So here we are. We've got the image. I mean, it's on there twice, but it doesn't matter. So now if I just double click that, come on. It should open up. Why is it going to preview? Sorry about this. Let me just shut that down. I don't know why it's done that. Go back into Procreate. There we go. So I've double clicked it. So then this opens the tool. All the tools and everything that I need are on this screen here. I do apologize for the reflection. I'll try and fetch it down a little bit. Okay. So what we've got here is we've got a gallery, which is where this is kept. And then we've got like setting for different tools. These all mean different things, but for what we're doing today, all we need to know is the color. A pencil or pen or brush, that's where you select those. Here on this side, we have 2 slider bars. One is to go up, so that's to actually size. So say at the minute I've got red and I've got a Procreate pencil. So I can do that. If you can see that, let me just pull that up a little bit. So there you go, we've got a nice fine line. But if we move that up on this side, the line will get thicker. So you could actually move it right the way up there, and then you get a lot thicker line. Okay, like that. So it changes the thickness of the line. And then down at the bottom, there is an undo button. So I'm just going to undo all of those marks. So then the other slider is for the opacity. So obviously we want full opacity for that. So make sure that's on full. Right, so pull that up there. The actual pencil, we don't want that thick. I'm using red because then I can see where I'm going on this picture. And then I'm going to go along to the brush selection. I mean, on this one here, if you just tick there, you can select any color you really, you want. You can actually do it that way and pick any color that you want. So if we do it there, so it's as bright as we can get. So that's the color. So then I go into the brush stroke thing, the brushes. So when you first get Procreate, you get so many brushes. There's a lot of these that I've added as well. I'm just going to go along to sketching. Or you could go to drawing. Let's have a look what's in drawing. No, it's a bit too thick. Inking. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with sketching, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the HB pencil. Okay. So let's have a look at how thick that is. Right. That'll do. So let me just delete that what I've just done. Right, so now we've got that. So the next thing we need to do is look here. We've got this looks like two squares. So this will show us the actual canvas and the layers that we are working on. So this is the layers. So when we tick on there, what you've got here is you've got two layers at the moment. You've got a background, which is a blank color, and layer one is the actual photograph. So now we want to add another layer because we want to do a drawing. So what I do is I add on here, there's a plus sign. So if you click plus, that gives you another layer, which is layer two. It shows you a black square, but it's in blue. As long as that's highlighted in blue, that's the layer that you're working on. Okay, so then we click somewhere else in the image. So we've got the color, we've got the pencil, we've got these set. May have to set that a bit less. And make sure it's always on layer two and it's highlighted blue. Okay, so now you can actually, you can increase the picture. So it makes it easier for you to draw around. So now you take your pencil and you can start somewhere here around where the eye is and just carefully, there we go. Then there's a bit of a low light there. That obviously is a white highlight, so I'm just going to mark that in. In fact, that's in the wrong place, so I could tick that. That takes that out, but it leaves the eye in, and then just mark that there. Okay, there is a little ring around this eye. Okay, so that's there. So then let's go across here and just start. We'll draw a bit of an outline so you can see it's coming out in the red or the pink color. Move across just so we can get the beak in. Okay, and then up here. So this is the top part of the beak. If it's pinned out, whoops. So I've gone a bit wobbly there, so I'm just going to take that off. And then what you can do is turn your tablet around. So you've got a smoother movement with your hand. Okay. And then here, I'm just going to actually, these are sort of markings that are like feathers that are overlapping onto the beak. So I'm using little zigzag strokes. So I know that means I've got the feather strokes and I want to blend them in. Okay. And then down here, I'm just going to pull this down to there for now. And then in this space, again, we've got, this is where feathers overlap. So I'm doing sort of like backwards and forward. I'm doing sort of like little V's just to show where the feathers are. And then on the inside of that, I know these are sort of layers of feathers. So I'm going to put these in. I'm just marking the lighter bits in, and I can see which way round they're going. And then we've got this darker area here. Okay, I've got some little feathers there. And then this here, they blend in to that darker area. But then up here, we've got a real set edge for there, right? And then we've also got some darker bits that go up there. I'll draw in the top of the head here. Oops, take that out a bit. Let's go this way. Normally, I would be moving my tablet around so that I can get a clear sweep of my hand, but so that you can see. Oops, I don't want it out of focus. Again, just marking in all these little darker areas and different coloured areas. And if the feathers, I want people to see which direction they're going in. So here, they sort of come around the top of the head and then to the back of the head. And then we've got that bit there. So in here, carefully, I want to show that. I mean, some people might not think that's important, but you can see there's another section that's sort of a little bit, and that's the actual nostril, I think. So that's sort of a lighter area. So I know that's going to be there. And then up here again, we've got these darker bits of feathers. What it is, it's where the feathers are a little short and tufty. So if you put the darker bits in and just do some little V-shaped lines coming down, you've got then the movement of which way the fur's going. And then here, again, you've got a different colour here, light colour. And then just put in a couple of the directions when it starts to change direction here. And it's got some of this darker colour from underneath coming into it. Okay, and then you can move it along. So we're coming across here. You've got this patch here that's really light, and then this bit here that's dark coming out from the eye. This is your lighter patch again, just putting in the directions of the feathers. That, and then we've got this darker area here as well. That comes up there to the top of the head, so we can draw the top of the head in to meet that bit we've already drawn. Okay, and then there. So for now, I'm just going to stop. So that's the head of the bird. So if we go back here, so every so often I tend to go back here. And what I'll do is I'll just take that. So if you take the arrow out of there, the photograph goes and you've just got your image. The ticket, it comes back again. So let's just move over here. And this way you can check by doing that and then putting it back in. You can have a quick check, make sure you've got everything in. Now I've noticed if we take that out, the beak, there's nothing there. So yes, you could leave it like that and just do it from your reference drawing. But if you want to make note of some of these markings, just click your photograph back in and then put in. So that's quite a dark. So I'm just going to fill that in solid so I know that's a darker area. And then here we've got just a little bit of a different colour just coming round here and here. And then that fades. So if I do a dotted line, I know it's faded. So again now, so if I take that off, there you go. We've got the pieces from the beak in. Okay. So put that back. Okay. So, and then here, because this is quite dark, what I would do is, because to me, it's a landmark, I would actually more or less just put in the directions of the feathers. They're very short, but they've still got direction. But I'm more or less, I'm doing these really close together and pulling that there. And here it comes down here. Okay. If I use that as like a landmark, I call it a landmark, and there's one here. So any of the dark areas, they're going to be really, really dark. I sort of put in the direction, but I put the marks really close together, and it's without actually quite blocking it in. Go to there, take that out, you can see I put these are landmark. I know they're really dark areas. So, I mean, I could work on them and make them look a little bit more. So let's have a look. So these are really dark. And I'm trying to just make sure that the direction in which they're going is still visible. Okay. And then around there, it's quite solid. Okay. And then here, down the back. There. Okay. And then if I just go back there, there we go. So you can see now that they are some landmarked areas. Okay. So then you just carry on. Whoops. Click back off that. Make sure that layer 2 is always highlighted. And then you can go back. Just make sure if you want the photograph in, you put that in. And then you can just continue around the bird. Okay. And then once you've done that, once you're happy with it, it'll go into the gallery. So if you click gallery, right, so let me select that again because it's right. So if I go back into there and take that out, that's what I'm left with. Okay. So then I go to gallery. That is now in the gallery. So if I want to fetch that back up, I can do. And again, if I go back into there, I can actually still put the photograph back in. So it saves it as it is. So you can continue working on it or you can leave it as it is. Okay. So, but earlier I did the bird and I've still got it in here and that's the bird. Okay, so if you look at it, turn it round. There we go. Let me just try and, there we go. They got a better. So some of these are a lot lighter markings than some of those ones. And then what I do is I get the picture from here. I'll go back to my gallery, go to select. There's a little round, so the one I want, I do that, and then I go to the share button. And when I go to share, I save it as a JPEG, or you can save it as a PDF. Do that, it exports it, and then if you look down here, you can see one that says save image. So click that. Then you can close the Procreate down, go back to your images, and there you go, you've got it saved. So then you can just go to file and print, and you can actually print it from there. And if you print it in black and white, non-color, you do get your black and white. So there you are, you've got your line drawing, but you've also saved it. So you don't have to save it in your photographs if you don't want. If you're happy, you could do, but it's always it's in Procreate. So it's always going to be there. Well, not always until you delete it, maybe. So like this one and this one, I can highlight, delete those. So they've gone. So I've got the photograph and I've got my bird there. Okay. This one is one that I did for, let's have a look so you can see it's a bit more clear. Don't know why it keeps going. I think it's because it's a tablet, that's all. But I do have a lot in here that I do keep. Okay, so that is, let me just have a look at, see if we can get this done. There we go, it's a little bit clearer now. Zoom in a bit, there we go. So yeah, that's the one. Of a preview, that's the line drawing. It's got all the red markings, but when I print it out, it's this one here. So I can save that, print it out, or I can delete it whenever I want to. Okay, so it's as simple as that. And as I say, it's easy because you can always go back if you get tired or you've got quite a lot to put into the drawing, then you can always leave it and come back later and you can always pick it back up and start from where you left off, where it's a lot harder to do that if you're doing it manually on a light box or tracing or whatever. Okay, so then once you've got your line drawing, obviously the other ways of doing it is you can just go with a smooth, soft B pencil on the back, turn it over and then put your drawings in and whatever lines you want in, you can do it that way, or you can just pop this onto a light box, put your paper, if you're using paper, on top and use the light box to transfer it. But you've got your line drawing and it's in there as well in your iPad. So thank you for listening, and I hope that's helped. Give it a go. You never know, you might find that easier once you've got the hang of it. And as I say, you can't really go wrong because you can always delete part what you've done if you've done a mistake, whereas it's a lot harder when you're trying to draw it freehand to do that. And you keep it, and you can just keep checking that you've got in all the information on right before you actually print it out. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.